Okay, first of all, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I haven't uploaded a video in almost 4 weeks now, and I'm really sorry about that. But believe it or not, I don't make a living off this YouTube channel. But as far as the internet is concerned, I don't exist. Okay, so have you ever wanted to make a particle system based title fluid? Have you ever wanted to make this? Of course, every child has grown up and always dreamed of making a particle-based fluid simulation title reveal. Okay, so basically, all I'm doing here is it's a basic, kind of like just a reveal using particle simulations. And basically, when the particles overlap with the text, it kind of fills up, and now it kind of reveals the text in that way. So let's go ahead and let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start by creating a solid. So I'm just going to go here and type in solid. Ooh, I need to move my mic out of the way. Solid. And here's a solid color, so let's just drag this down. And then on top of that, we're going to put a text plus right here. So text plus is basically, it's not a normal text file, it's actually a fusion, basically just a fusion text file. So we can actually go into this file and edit it in Fusion. But let's go ahead and actually change our solid color to something like, let's go with a kind of like the pink I had before, like right there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead, click on our text plus, and go into Fusion. Okay, so here in Fusion now, the first thing I want to start with is a particle simulation, okay? So we can go ahead and actually drag this node right here, and that will create a particle emitter, okay? So once you have a particle emitter, then you need to actually be able to render this emitter out. So you want to go ahead and click, is this a render? Yeah, then you can drag in a render node and connect these two, all right? So now it's going to go ahead and render this out into an actual image that we can then view. So let's click on our render here and let's change it to 2D because we don't need a 3D simulation for this example. So go ahead and click on our emitter now, our render I mean, and click 1, and that will put it in our viewport number 1 over here. Okay, so as you can see, we have sort of, some particles spawning here, and if I go ahead and actually play this, you'll see they start spawning over time. But what we want them to do is I want them to spawn on the top of the screen and fold down and basically cover up and reveal this title here, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is let's edit this a little bit. So I'm going to go to our emitter here, and I'm going to go over to the style of it, and I want to change these to blobs. That way we can actually adjust the size, and you can see they're no longer just points. They actually have a little bit of mass to them. Okay, so then we can go over to our size, and we can mess around with the size now of these. So I'm going to just kind of put in a random number for now, and we'll go back to that. What I really need to mess with is the region here. So let's change our actual volume to a cube, okay? That way we can go ahead and, I need to reposition this here. And let's reposition this up here at the top of the screen, and let's extend our width. That way it's spawning then over the top of the screen and falling down onto our text, okay? But of course if we play, they're not falling yet. So let's go ahead back over to our settings over here and go to velocity, and let's give them a little bit of velocity. I'm going to go around 3 or 4, and I'm going to angle the velocity downwards. So now if I play this, you can see they are falling downwards, and I think the velocity way too much, so I'm going to bring that down and let's play. That looks pretty good. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. Tinker it with whatever options that you want, because the only thing that matters is how you want it. The client doesn't matter. Always remember that. Okay, so I'm going to extend my viewport here. So you can see here that our particles are falling. I'm kind of happy with the speed now. Okay, so now why don't we go ahead and attach these. Okay, so to make this easier, I'm going to go ahead, make the particles a little bigger again, like that. Alright, and now let's take this, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to the mask input of our title node, okay? So the mask input, if you don't know, basically it just uses this this particle system. It's going to use it as a mask to figure out what to show of the title, all right? So if we drag that in, you see our title disappears, and if we play it, you'll see the particles only show through where the title is, and basically it's using the particles' positions to basically figure out what to show on the title. But now what we wanted to do is I want to animate the actual particles. That way it starts out small, but then the particles get big and fall down with much more thickness to actually cover up and reveal the entire title. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead to the front. Let's go back to our emitter to frame 0. Okay, we want to start at the very beginning. And let's go over to our size controls and let's add a keyframe there. Okay, and then I also want to animate the number of particles we have. So I'm going to add a little more and let's keyframe that. Okay, then let's go ahead, we'll say like frame 40, let's go 50, frame 50. And basically, let's animate a ton more. So let's bring it up to 100 particles, okay? And then also animate the size. You might have to type in a number manually here to expand how big you can get them. I'm going to type in 10. If I type in 10, you can see now it gradually gets bigger. I might decrease the size a little bit. So right about there. All right, so now if we play it again, you'll see that they start growing bigger over time because we animated those attributes. And eventually they're going to get so thick, if we watch the title sequence here, that it will eventually fill up the title and reveal your text. Probably should have put something in for the title instead of just putting title. It could have been a little more creative. Okay, but anyway, from here I'm going to go ahead and click. You can now basically go ahead and all it's doing is revealing the title, okay? So the particles themselves aren't showing through. What I mean by that is you can adjust the title however you want. For example, if I change the color of the title, you want to mess with the attributes for the design of the title in the actual title tab. So if I make this red, okay, you'll see that it reveals the red title, okay? So just know you want to keep these particles black and white because it's using them as a black and white alpha mask, okay? So anyways, I think that's about it. And of course, you can go ahead and make much more complex particle simulations, add some vortexes and stuff to make these particle reveals really big. Just make sure in the end, the particles are animated to get bigger and thicker and have much more mass to actually reveal the title completely. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and play my outro scene that doesn't exist. So there's a subscribe button, doesn't work, and some empty video links. Oh, but you can scan my Instagram thing. You can go ahead and follow that if you want to.